Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining me, Nivedhana Prabhu, here on Mirror Now. You're watching Daily Mirror. Ladies and gentlemen, the days when we woke up to clear skies are gone. Smog struggles have returned because it's that time of the year again. Air in the Delhi NCR region has again become hazardous. This just days ahead of Diwali, signaling an air emergency in the region. According to a report, Delhi NCR air right now is like smoking 31 cigarettes a day. So even if you are a non-smoker like me, you are still breathing poison. Now, before we get talking about pollution and its ill effect on your health, let me go across to my reporter Ila, who will tell us more about the deteriorating air quality in the National Capital Region. But before we do that, let's listen in to Delhi's Environment Minister, who's made an appeal to Delhiites amid the crisis.
मैं दिल्ली के लोगों से अपील करना चाहता हूं। अभी मेट्रो के अधिकारियों के साथ हमारी बातचीत हुई। उनका कहना है कि हमने ट्रिप तो बढ़ा दिया है, लेकिन अभी राइडरशिप नहीं बढ़ रही है। तो दिल्ली के लोगों से हमारी अपील है कि 60 ट्रिप एक्स्ट्रा कर दी गई है मेट्रो की। साथ ही साथ 2400 जो है वो ट्रिप जो है वो बसों की बढ़ा दी गई है। तो आप सबसे निवेदन है कि आप जहां जरूरी ना हो तो आप पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट का उपयोग करें, जिससे कि जो व्हीकल पोल्यूशन है उसमें कंट्रोल करने में आपका सहयोग हो सके।
All right, so clearly it's the same story every year that we're getting to see, which is unfortunate as far as New Delhi being blanketed by a thick layer of toxic air. You can see the visuals as well on your screens. In fact, some schools were ordered closed as the air quality index went to the worst level for any major city. In fact, we do know that a combination of lower temperatures, still wind and crop stubble burning in neighboring farm states has also caused a spike in air pollutant. But of course, in terms of the concerning numbers, as Delhi's air is in the hazardous category, has left people also facing health issues. Now, as far as reactions coming in, what we did hear, the Delhi Environment Minister Gopal Rai also talking about is that he went on to appeal to the Delhi people, and he said that he spoke to metro authorities and that they said they've increased trips, but ridership is not increasing. Metro and buses trips which are increased. So essentially going on to appeal to the public to use public transport so that they can control vehicle pollution. But on the other hand, I would like to tell our viewers as well, there are numbers that are flashing on your screen. So if you would want to share with us your perspective as to why is it that we see the same story every year, do call us in. But to tell us about the on-ground situation, let me go across to my colleague Ila, joining me live. Ila, good evening. You are reporting from Noida. In fact, we always talk about Delhi in particular, but we do know that citizens in Noida are also facing the same story. Tell us what the numbers are looking like. And of course, this is a cause of concern.
Well, absolutely. If I talk about Delhi and NCR, both the cities are having severe pollution and smog is engulfed over Delhi NCR. And if I talk about the AQI, then the AQI is around 400. Now, today, Environmental Minister of Delhi, Gopal Rai, has asked the Union Environmental Minister to intervene in the situation and to look into it because the pollution is getting out of hand, and that is why even Delhi's LG Saxena has also called a meeting with Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in a while now, because he was also concerned. People are getting breathless, they are having irritated eyes, they are having tears in their eyes, and they are also having cough and cold. And also respiratory illness has increased in the hospital, as well as now the hospitalization is also increased. Now doctors are advising people to remain inside and avoid outdoor activities as much as possible. But the people who are going out have to also have a mask and use mask and take precautions as well, because the AQI is above 400 in most of the areas. If I talk about ITO Delhi, if I talk about other areas like Anand Vihar and Ashok Vihar, they are having AQI around 450, 430, which is near to 500. So you can imagine the plight of the people every year. The story remains the same. And pollution also become poisonous for the people of Delhi NCR. So people are really struggling, and there is no concrete solution, just politics going on in this matter. Over to you.
Absolutely, Ila. In fact, as you pointed, we see the same story every year as well. But we would also like to focus on the fact that citizens are facing health issues. In fact, you, despite the conditions, have been continuously reporting on the ground. Yesterday as well, you were pointing out that your eyes were also turning itchy. So if you could help draw things into perspective as far as what the symptoms, concerning symptoms, are also for people to look out for.
Well, if I talk about the precautions and measures which Delhi government is right now taking, it is also we have to look at. They have also focused on major pollution areas. They have identified around 13 hotspots, and other than that, 8 hotspots were also added afterwards. And they have also, if I talk about the construction, then they've asked that wherever the construction is going on, they have to take dust control measures as well. And also, if I talk about the measures of Delhi government, they have already launched red light on engine off campaign. They are also thinking about to launch odd even, but if a condition will become severe, then only the odd even would be implemented in Delhi NCR. So measures are being taken, but we are not seeing any kind of concrete solution, and the reality in the ground is scary as the menace of pollution continues. Over to you.
Right, Ella. I appreciate you getting us the latest and also telling us what the on-ground situation is, which is, of course, a cause of concern. We'll continue talking about that. Ella, thank you very much for leaving the conversation at that. But viewers, today residents in Delhi and Noida woke up to thick grey smog. In fact, most of you complained of irritation in the eyes and itchy throat. Now, let me caution you, it is only going to get worse, because the air that we are breathing right now is poisonous. And as the poisonous air goes into our bodies, it will have a strong effect on every organ. You will suffer from a host of diseases. New health issues, beg your pardon, will spring up as your right to breathe remains compromised. Now, there are certain do's and don'ts that will help us fight this air emergency. We urge you to cover yourself and wear masks while stepping out of the house. Take a healthy diet and keep yourself hydrated. But to know more about what is to be done and how to keep ourselves safe, I'm being joined by Dr. Kaviraj Kaushik, who is a health expert. But having said that, also if you have any queries or concerns, please do call us on the numbers that are flashing on your screens as far as sharing your perspective about what the on-ground situation is like. So, of course, that is the current on-ground situation, with what the Delhi NCR region is facing. In fact, what my colleague was pointing out, Ila, is exactly the same thing that we're putting into focus today. It is the same story every year, and the bigger question being, why is that so? Why are no initiatives not taken much beforehand? Because we do know the Delhi NCR region faces this issue, even if factors like stubble burning is in concern. Because if you're talking about these numbers as well, they're not simple numbers. In fact, Noida Sector 62 logged 469. The AQI in many parts of Delhi was way above 500. So clearly, it is in the hazardous zone, with a persistent smoky haze blanketing the city for the third consecutive day. Look at the visuals that you see on your screens. In fact, it happens every year during onset of the winter season. Ideally, a winter season is supposed to be one that everyone can look forward to and enjoy, but that's clearly anything but that. Health experts are, of course, concerned. Everybody should be wary about the potential increase in asthma and respiratory issues, particularly among children and the elderly as well. In fact, just talking about the numbers that we've been seeing for the past couple of days, as of 10 a.m. this morning, it was recorded at 351. The 24 average AQI stood at 367 on Wednesday, 359 on Tuesday, 347 on Monday, 325 on Sunday. So essentially what I'm trying to put across to all our viewers here is that it's only been increasing with every day, which is why we're going on to really question as to what are the measures that are being taken. If we talk about what the government has done over here, we did hear what Gopal Rai, the Delhi Environment Minister, beg your pardon, had to say about appealing to the Delhi people to use public transport. Now, is that even an option that the citizens feel is something that we have to concentrate on? Do call us on the numbers that are flashing on your screens and tell us what you think of that. Now, I did introduce my guest earlier. Let me take this opportunity to introduce him again. Dr. Kaviraj Kaushik, health expert, joining me on the broadcast. Dr. Kaushik, I appreciate you taking the time out and joining us here. Let me begin by asking you this. This is, of course, a concerning situation. But what are the things that the citizens need to do? What is the need of the hour from their end?
Good evening, everyone. As you are all aware, and it is quite evident, the smoke which is covering up the Delhi, we should be taking some preservative methods to keep ourselves healthy, especially the elderly and the children. Extreme cases should be preserved for going outside. In fact, everyone should avoid going outdoors, but it is especially for the kids and the elderly people because they are more prone. Second thing, while staying at home or in our offices, we should start taking measures to avoid the cause of this pollution. One thing, we should keep ourselves hydrated. We should take a lot of fluid so that the pollutants they will get flushed out from our system. Second thing, there should be some other food-related things which can help in alleviating the effects of pollution. And if you are feeling your itchy eyes, your dryness of skin, and some respiratory problems, then you should consult your doctor.
All right, Dr. Kaviraj, as you point that out as well, these are the do's. And on the other hand, there might be some precautionary measures in terms of the don'ts that citizens should not be following. Because you look at the AQI numbers, which will also be playing on the screens, which is a worrying condition for the Delhi NCR region.
The major worrying condition is, as you're seeing, the AQI is so high. So our respiratory problems are the major things which aggravate in this thing. Our upper respiratory as well as lower respiratory tracts are more involved in this pollution. So we should use masks, and if there is a breathing issue, we have to consult the doctor. There should be use of steam inhalation and use of mask, which can prevent all this. Especially those who are asthmatic, those who are patients of COPD. Hello?
Yes, doctor. Go ahead.
Those who are asthmatic patients, those who are patients of COPD, those patients should be very well aware of this situation. And either they should increase their doses of inhalers, or and definitely they are strictly restricted to go out.
Dr. Kaushik, as you point that out, what I'd also want to bring to your notice, which of course you can better make our viewers understand this, is that something that was also said in a study very recently with the fact that reducing life expectancy, which is another point which is worrisome for citizens, given the conditions and the times that we're living in.
See, life expectancy is a long-term effect of the pollution. These are the immediate effects which we were talking about. In the long-term effects, even we are daily smoking at least 20 cigarettes a day, as you pointed out earlier, in this smoke area. So they are affecting our lungs, and there are carcinogens in this air which can cause long-term cancer. And all these are reducing the life expectancy. And if you will talk about the difference between a rural area and an urban area, the disease ailments like respiratory diseases, they are almost double the rates of than a rural area. So that is all increasing our morbidities, even diabetes, hypertension, even cancer. They are increasing in prevalence due to this pollution.
Absolutely. In fact, as you point that out, we're also playing that graphic for our viewers to better understand this, that we're given to understand that toxic air increases risk of type 2 diabetes. Is that the case? If you could also draw perspective on that, doctor?
Yes, because these pollutions, pollutants which are there, they are causing increased stress. They are causing increased use of steroids and all in the respiratory patient. And these are the things which increase the diabetes rate in the patient. Okay. So these are the side effects. We can't correlate it directly, but they are the side effects of this thing.
Doctor, and also as you point that out, what we would like to understand is that why is the air so, the most toxic during this period? I'm pretty sure we are seeing an increase in hospitalizations as well because, like you did state, that children and the elderly do face respiratory problems. What are the trigger points, if you could help us understand that better? Because many have been also reporting of itchy eyes.
If we are feeling difficulty in breathing, we are feeling rahat, if we are having a labored breathing, if we are coughing a lot. So these are the signs of respiratory ailment. Second thing, itchy eyes, dry skin, they are general effects of pollution on our body. So if you are feeling difficulty in respiration, you are having a labored breathing, or you are not comfortable breathing, then you should definitely consult the doctor. If your respiratory rate is too
Doctor,
high.
also talking about, yes, please go ahead.
Yes. If your respiratory rate is too high, then it is another symptom that you should consult as an emergency to the doctor.
All right, Dr. Kaushik Kaviraj, appreciate you taking the time out, joining us here on Mirror Now and helping our viewers better understand what they can do and what they shouldn't given the situation right now in Delhi NCR. We appreciate you taking the time out. But let me also go across once again to my colleague Ila, who has, of course, continuously been reporting on this top story for us. Ila, coming back to, this is, of course, the health aspect of it that we were putting focus on for our viewers as far as the do's and don'ts are concerned. But what I would ideally want you to tell our viewers, especially for the ones who don't live in the Delhi NCR region, as to how bad this is and why it is such a sorry state of affairs that we find ourselves every year in the same situation.
Well, for the people who are not living in Delhi NCR, to make them more understand the things and the situation here, which is very critical, the air quality of Delhi is equivalent to smoking 10 to 12 cigarettes or more than that every day, which is very dangerous and very harmful for your lungs as well. Now, if I talk about how it is impacting the life of Delhiites and people who are living in NCR, it is reducing the life of people from 11 to 12 years according to studies. So you can understand like how harmful it is for upcoming generation, because they are getting this kind of atmosphere, this kind of air quality which is in severe category, which is above 400. Kids are facing lots of problem when they are going to school in morning hours. When the smoke is engulfed in Delhi NCR, they are breathing that toxic air, and which is leading to respiratory illness, which can also cause lots of lungs problem, because PM 2.5 is very small and it can clog the lungs as well, and people who are asthmatic are having more trouble. We all have recovered from COVID, so lungs are really not that healthy. So you can understand the plight of people here. They are not able to breathe, they are not able to go out, they are asked to remain indoors. People are trying to restrict them indoors, and kids are not able to play outside, which is a really problematic and very sadful conditions of people living in Delhi NCR. People are even running away from here, going to hill stations, trying to find an escape. But for those who can't afford to find an escape, I don't know, they have to breathe in this same air, in this same poisonous and toxic air. Over to you.
Absolutely, Ila. In fact, in context, it has just become a gas chamber, which is unfortunate. But thank you very much, Ila, for joining us in the broadcast and helping our viewers better understand what it is like to be breathing, or rather unable to be breathing in this situation. But as we continue to do everything with this top story, stubble burning continues to take place in neighboring states. In fact, my colleague Gurpreet sends us this report from Punjab's Ropar. Take a look.
All these visuals from the ground, what is happening at this point of time, we can see the stubble burning is still continuing in the state of Punjab, and the farmers say they are not able to get the proper equipment from the state government. That is one of the reasons why they are forced to go for this stubble burning. Even they has also put a lot of question mark of the state government, saying that why the compensation which has already been directed by the apex court, Supreme Court, to give to the farmers, so that the farmers should not continue this stubble burning. And the way we have seen, the pollution level has already been increased in the national capital because of the stubble burning which is happening in the state of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh also. Even the farmers, they are telling their side of story. They are saying the state government should try to make a proper strategy so that the farmers should get a proper equipment and this stubble burning should not happen in the state of Punjab. So let's see that how the state government is going to get the solution, whether they are holding the meeting with the farmers, they are trying to provide them machines or to them or not. But as of now, what we can see here, the stubble burning is still continuing in the state of Punjab.
Shifting